As we're going live here, as we're going live, hi everybody. And
Oh,
as we start the recording, we were just in the background talking about the inner workings of um, a sales rep and buyers and all that fun stuff.
how the sausage is made.
How the as they say, how the sausage is made, and it's a lot. And I think that one of the most fascinating things is for people that may not realize is just how many titles you all have in each season um, to
I
sell
mean,
to the wives.
yeah, Andrea beats me by a country mile, but yeah,
But I mean, no. So just, I mean, how many do you have, Julia, in a season?
I'm selling 1100 for fall.
Okay, and you have 3 seasons or four?
3.
Three. Okay, and okay, so you have 1,100 titles. Andrea, how many do you have?
Um, it's with the Ingram academic list, it's like over 3,000.
Jesus, and that's one season. So as you see, there's a lot. So to have these wonderful sales reps narrow down 3 books a week to talk to us is actually kind of amazing because it's like you all have some serious lists to go over. So with
A
all that,
miracle I'm alive.
I love it.
You know,
Um,
seriously, I mean, and somebody goes, "Oh yeah, like, two seasons down the road. Oh yeah, I really like that book by, that Jones novel." I'm like, "No, you need to give me more than that.
yeah,
Unless it's a major bestseller, you need to give
yeah,
me."
yeah. It's like what in the holy what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So we had a super interesting weekend. Oh, good. I'm glad that you like the email reminders. Those come out, Marilyn. Those come directly. We set up Zoom to do that. Thank God they do it automatically. So it's kind of a nice thing. And we always do record these. So they do end up both on Facebook and on our YouTube channel after. So if you can't be with us live, we always have ways for you to see these too, and the newsletter that comes out. So, anywho, back to kind of a so interesting weekend. Just
Wow.
so fun. And
Yeah.
just loved it on so many levels. So,
Did you go to a protest, Julie? Did you go some?
you know what? I did not, and only because I'm a lame person. That's number one. But
Not.
I had back to back. I had Robert McFarlane on Friday night and S.A. Cosby on Saturday night. And so I was kind of go. And if I would have gone, I think I would have not been. I'm old. I don't think I could have done it all.
I get
There will be more.
There will be more. And so, yeah, I was because the Robert McFarlane event was amazing. Is
Yeah.
the River Alive? He's as I was sitting there, I think I talked to somebody and I was just like, I think you might be a little too smart for me. I'm like, I mean, he was talking, but it was just like a lot of that was just going straight over my head, but in a good way. I mean, it was
He's so
just,
lovely though. He's so,
oh, he's incredible. He's
yeah,
just the most warm, down to earth, but just super smart. And
totally informed.
just read all of his books.
Yeah,
And
this one
then,
is especially, I haven't read it yet, but everybody I've talked to who's read it is saying that this is like so gorgeous, so beautiful.
oh, and it's all about like, I mean, really, it's about just survival in the life of the planet. I mean, let's
Yeah.
just put it down as just a, if you want to just give it a one-liner, that's pretty much it. And then we had S.A. Cosby, and he was with, so if you haven't read King of Ashes, highly recommend you do. But he was in conversation with the narrator that narrates his book.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's, yeah, Adam Lazar White, who actually was on soap opera. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But let me just say, these two gentlemen and their voices, you could have just sat there all night and listened to them talk to each other because it was incredible. So had a couple really good events. So anywho, all right, let's get to the nitty gritty while we're here and get some books recommended. So Andrea, let's see if we got the screen share on for you. Yep, that's ready for you if you need it. So
Okay.
Andrea, take us away.
I do have a question. Do you want us to do a fourth if
Yeah,
somebody,
go ahead.
if
Yeah, if
some,
you got it, if you got it, do it.
okay. The first book I want to talk about is The Surf House by Lucy Clark. I really just wanted to just do all thrillers all the time today, because it is we're moving into summertime, and everybody needs to just get away, get away from it all, and a little escapist, death, destruction, grit, that's not in the real world. So Lucy Clark has basically like sold like I don't know, like almost 2 million copies of her books, and we think this one's going to do really well. It's the first one from Atlantic Monthly Press. She's been on other publishers, and this is a destination thriller set on the Moroccan coast where a new guest, our protagonist B, um, comes to the surf house, a resort, and finds out it's not really, by hook or crook, she finds out that a woman, her age, staying in her little resort bungalow, has disappeared without a trace, like exactly a year before she gets there. So that sort of sets the pace. And it's totally transportive. It's sexy. And we think it's pretty delicious. It's pretty wild and like takes you on this ride. And it's set in Morocco. A lot of, I mean, that's, it's nice to have a little exotic. It's not in Florida. It's not in the Caribbean. It's Morocco. So we like that. And we're pretty excited about this, and it's a great mystery. So very easy to pick up. It's candy for the beleaguered soul right now. Lucy Clark, The Surf House.
I love it. Sounds like a good one. And you're right. I mean, tis the season for just those take me away and give me a good mystery. So love it. Okay, Julia, what do you got
Okay.
for us?
Wait, I want to ask Andrew, are you repping that Super Gay Poems behind you?
No, that's Norton, but a
Oh.
Norton rep, a friend of mine from Kentucky, sent it to me, and it's such a cool cover. So I just put it up there.
We have a book from her about Taylor Swift, The Poetics of Taylor Swift, coming out in the fall. So I was excited to see that behind you.
Oh yeah, cool. That is a very interesting title too.
Yeah.
Poetics of Taylor Swift. We had a book that just came out from Harvard Business Review Press, and it's the basically business savvy of Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, which
I think there's a lot of people that could learn from her
yeah,
and her team.
she has those chops, and this book, I mean,
Yep.
it's Harvard Business Review Press. It's, that's heavy duty. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So for my first book, it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. It is The Lost Masterpiece by B.A. Shapiro, as you can see here. And this is B.A. Shapiro wrote The Art Forger, which I think a lot of people read when it came out a number of years ago. And this is sort of a return in a way to that kind of writing and writing about this topic. This particular book is about, okay, let me get her name right. Berthe Morisot, and I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. I know that it's wrong. Who is often talked about as sort of like a woman who had affairs with Edward Manet, or like was kind of sort of romantically involved with Edward Manet. But really she was an artist, a stunningly good artist in her own right. And so this book, it follows her art as well as a painting from Edward Manet, and it sort of follows these paintings and these, like, the story of these artists through to present day. So at one point, this Manet painting that you sort of follow is stolen by the Nazis, and then it is stolen back from the Nazis, and then ends up in the hands of the granddaughter of Morisot. And this so it's like a historical fiction, it's multiple generations, and it takes place around these artists and sort of talks about the story of these artists that a lot of people don't know their story. And her story particularly. So it's a really beautiful book. If you like the Art Forger, you're going to love this one. But also, if you haven't read that one, if you like a historical fiction that sort of looks at art and the importance of certain works of art in numerous ways. This is a wonderful book, really fun, and I think like a sort of thinking man's beach read. That's how I think of it, as like it's a smart beach read. It's not hard to get through, but it'll really sort of open your eyes to certain things and make you think about it. So so that's The Lost Masterpiece by B.A. Shapiro.
I love it. And yeah, I mean, and everybody's always looking for, I think it sounds like it would be one of those really good book club books too.
Yeah.
Lots to talk about. Especially like book clubs like the historical aspect, they love art. So
exactly.
That one too. Okay, I'm going to let you guys talk about two, and then I'm going to talk about one. So I'm going to go, Andrea, what do you have next? Oh, you're on mute. I think you're still muted.
Sorry, I couldn't find it.
There you are.
Yeah, that was a rookie move. Sorry about that.
No way. No rookie moves here.
A housekeeping note, Amanda, I added the fourth title to my little Edelweiss collection. So there you go. James Lee Burke, Don't Forget Me, Little Bessie. This is a novel. There are signed copies at Warwick's right now. Run on down to pick up your signed copy of An American Master. James Lee Burke is called the master of nostalgia noir. And this definitely like fits right into that category. This is the 14th novel in the Holland family series. He also has the Dave Robichaux series. So the guy is prolific, but I'm telling you, the juice is flowing. He just continues to write really compelling mysteries and noirs. And this is set at the beginning of the 20th century. Bessie Holland is our protagonist, and she's a young girl. And we get the skinny from her. She is like yearning for love, but she's too young really to realize that. But she finds a soulmate and a mentor in a troubled individual. He's tormented. I'm sorry, did I say he? I meant she. I can't speak. I actually told one of my booksellers today, I gave them completely wrong information that like completely about like shipping minimums and everything today. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I hope it's just that I'm tired and there's a lot of pollen floating around because I can't speak and I'm misgendering our like one of our star characters. It's a troubled teacher and suffragette who kind of helps steer Bessie through her coming of age. So this is really excellent. It's getting good blurbs. It just came out, let me see, June 3rd. So it's just hot off the presses. And there's a few signed copies left, as I said. So James Lee Burke, Don't Forget Me, Little Bessie.
Okay, I'm just going to put a plug in. I have to admit, I'll take you off of screen share. There we are. I'm embarrassed to say I've never read James Lee Burke, but I will give a plug for him as a person. We did a virtual event with him. He could not have been more lovely. And I just want everybody to go and buy and read his books. He's an older gentleman. He is just, because at first I was like, because sometimes the older novelists at a time can be a little curmudgeonly as they get as they age. So it's like I was kind of like, oh, I wasn't sure. Oh my God, he was delightful. Um, just a smile on his face, just everything about him. I was just like, oh my God. So can't speak highly enough of him. I can't speak, read, go, just go buy his books, read his books. Everybody, I mean, there's people at the store like Seth, I know is a
Yeah.
huge James and Burke fan. So,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he just the atmosphere, it just is like dripping in his descriptions.
yeah,
The Robo Show, I'm pretty sure Seth at Catapult, the Catapult bookstore probably likes his Dave Robichaux
yeah.
series because it's
I
like,
think he's a huge James and Burke fan.
yeah,
So,
like gritty, like New Orleans
yeah,
noir.
exactly.
But the guy, and that's the thing, okay, he's a true gentleman, and how great is that? I mean, how many times has he been on tour?
Right.
He's got to be old, and he still shows up and has class and grace and aplomb. That's cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, it was so much fun. And so, anyways, love him. And so go buy his books.
Yes.
Okay, Julia.
Yeah, my dad was a huge James A. Burke fan. He used to read everything.
Yep.
Okay, my next one comes out tomorrow. This is Comedy Samurai 40 Years of Blood, Guts, and Laughter by Larry Charles. So, if you don't know that name right off the bat when I say it, I guarantee you know Larry Charles's work. He was a writer on Seinfeld basically the whole time. He and Larry David were partners for like 40 years, business partners for like 40 years and writing partners. He worked on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Borat, all sorts of different things. He's a seasoned comedy writer, and he spills a whole lot of tea in this memoir about his years working in Hollywood. He and Larry David did have a breaking up of sorts at some point. And he talks about that. He talks about Sacha Baron Cohen. He talks about everyone. And Larry Charles is by far one of the funniest people you will ever read. He is hysterical. And also is like somewhat of a, I don't want to call him a recluse because he's not a recluse, but like he's really not a person, unlike Larry David, that likes to be in the spotlight. Like he likes to be in the writer's room. Right. But he's one of those guys that has been around for so long and knows so much and has sort of seen it and done it all. And this is one of those Hollywood memoirs that I think extends further out from Hollywood. If you're a fan of any of those shows, you should definitely read it. But even if you're not, the way he writes is just absolutely worth sinking into. So yeah, highly recommend.
Because I'm sure that there's not just a tiny bit of snark.
Not a tiny bit.
Okay,
and I'm guessing you're gonna see him I know that you're gonna see him in the coming like days. He's doing some press around it, which is like, he doesn't love to do, but he is doing some. So
when they don't love to do press, sometimes that could be some of the best things. So it's like, oh boy, you could be in for a treat on that. But if he goes to any of the night show guys, those guys are always good.
And he is just so much fun to read and to watch and to like hear his stories.
And I mean, and they bring out the best in people, even if they don't want to be there, usually. Okay, this is the book that you didn't know that you needed to read. Harriet Tubman live in concert. Do you know this, Julia?
Bob the Drag Queen is a legend.
Bob the Drag 100%.
Queen.
Okay, so this was out in March. Bob the Drag Queen is from RuPaul's Drag Race. He was the host of the HBO's We're Here. So Harriet Tubman, I'll read you the first paragraph. In the age of miracles, where our greatest heroes from history have magically, unexplainably returned to shake us out of our confusion and complacency, Harriet Tubman is back, and she has a lot to say. And let me tell you, I just started this morning, and I'm like halfway through with it. It's a book that you'll read. It's so good. I can't stand how good this is. I mean, the writing's incredible. The way he mixes history with current, Harriet Tubman's going to sing hip hop, okay, about what happened to her. I mean, it's just a little piece of magic. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because I do not believe we talked about this back in March.
Yeah, and I was gonna say if anyone gets a chance and wants to look up on YouTube any of the interviews that Bob has done about the book, he is like simultaneously so smart and so fascinating to listen to talk about Harriet Tubman, and on the other hand, the funniest person that you will come across. I think he won season 7 or season 8 of Drag Race.
Yeah.
But and like toured with Madonna this year, and like just is an all-around amazing artist and
Right.
so much fun to listen to.
So, I mean, and you could see that's what I love about this is like, okay, we're talking about Harriet Tubman, we're talking about slavery, we're talking about some very serious topics, and he's got the chops, that it's coming from a place of knowledge, but then you're cracking up in like, the next sentence because when he brings himself into it, it's just a delight, and it's eye-opening and reminds you of things about, how far and not far things have come.
Yeah.
Really good.
If you're a Drag Race fan too, Bob the Drag Queen doing both Uzo Aduba and Carol Channing on the Snatch Game is worth a watch.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So Harriet Tubman live in concert. Can't recommend it enough. All right. Okay, Andrea, what you have next for us?
The title alone just wants to make you pick that book up.
Right?
Yeah. So great. My third mystery, Women Like Us. This is by Katya Leaf, and she has reintroduced or is extending the story of Invisible Women, her two protagonists and partners in crime, literally. Joni and Val are back. They're calling this a domestic thriller. That's the term for it. Which basically means women are killing their husbands. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, and it's been 1 year since Joni tipped some antifreeze into her husband's cocktail and got away with it. And now she runs Sunny Day Productions, a TV studio, and with her friend Val. And there's a new despicable man that has come on the scene, namely Joni's long lost brother, who's a con man and reprehensible in every way. So he must be dealt with. And the thing I like about these novels are they're not formulaic. So, he ain't gonna get it with like a cocktail, like some poison in a cocktail. It's gonna be something else is gonna happen, but I'm not telling you. And these are really in some ways reminiscent of Patricia Highsmith with her charming, criminally minded characters that, they're just they're sociopaths, right? And
love it. Charming sociopaths.
Yes, charming sociopaths. Well, that's how they get away with it a lot of times.
Yep.
And so it has literary chops as well. So it's got a lot going on for it. And it examines the complexities and responsibilities of female friendships, as well as it's like a great look at TV studios and how TV shows are made. So it's got that going for it too. So, it's really got some depth to it, even though it is kind of breezy and, just like, fantasy about, like somebody getting away with killing like bad men. So, there you go. This is another Grove Atlantic mystery, Atlantic Monthly. And we're moving into next season, the fall, where Atlantic Crime, they're starting a new imprint, Atlantic Crime. Well, they're going like gung-ho on bringing us some great crime thrillers and espionage stuff. So
Awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if this was from that imprint yet. So not quite yet.
Nope, not quite yet, but it does anticipate. So I
Okay.
mean he's gonna be Katya will definitely, they're building her as a house author because they love, they love how like her stuff works on so many levels. So
Yep. Love it. Okay, thank you. Okay, Julia, what do you have next?
Okay, my next book, it's like timely and topical, but not like is not going to make you want to throw yourself off a bridge. So this is The Salmon Cannon and the Levitating Frog, another serious discoveries of silly science by Carly Ann York. So this book, as you can see, there's a blurb from Mary Roach on the cover, and that sort of tells you what you need to know about this book. But I shall tell you some more, which is that this book, it starts off, Carly Ann York talks about like this dinner party she's at where um, she starts to talk about like what her scientific research is, and some kind of blowhard dude like basically is like, why does that matter? Like, why is your research, what you're researching, important? And she said, I kind of got flustered and stumped and I couldn't respond to him. And so, in a way, this book is the response to that. And what this book does is it talks about these, like when certain politicians are talking about cutting certain kinds of science funding, they like a lot of times quote these like dumb experiments, or like, why are they researching this thing? And when you listen to it, you're like, yeah, that does sound like, why are they researching that? And what she does is she sort of talks about like, here's why they're researching it, and like, here's what we actually learn from researching these like quote unquote silly experiments, and running these quote unquote silly experiments, and doing this silly science that like might sound dumb when you say it in a certain way, but is actually like has contributed to so much progress, a lot of it with like helping people who are living with disabilities, or like making life more comfortable for everyone. Like, so many of the things that we use now on a daily basis are from these kind of silly or like stupid like experiments that are run. So this got a starred review in both Publishers Weekly and Kirkus. It's a great book. It's very fun to read. I think of it as like beach read nonfiction. Like, it is, for if you need a book to sort of like, if you're going on a plane ride, if you're sitting by the beach and you need a book, or the pool and you need a book to sort of fly through, but you're looking for some nonfiction, this is definitely it. And it's like, it definitely is parallel to certain things that are going on in our in our politics right now, but like isn't overtly like, you know, negative, or like, look at how bad all this is.
Or
But she
doomsday,
sort of,
or doomsday.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But it sort of does relate to that. So it's a great book. It's really fun to read, and I highly recommend it. The Salmon Cannon and the Levitating Frog is what it's called.
I
and
love
that's a
it.
great title. Come on.
Yeah, and I think we need the serious books that tell us how serious stuff is. We do need those, but once in a while we need this that's a little more palatable, maybe for people that wouldn't pick up that doomsday book.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
still, yeah, that still has, some very good information. Oh no, we don't want to start talking about the CDC. We don't need to, I just can't. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah. Now for our lightning round. Andrea, what do you have for our fourth pick?
Well, just this is different. This is a departure. Considering
Oh,
that
love this.
we were talking about Robert McFarlane's new book. This is for readers of Robert McFarlane, Margaret Wall Kimmerer, Wendell Berry for sure. The Saltstone Seasons of a Shepherd's Life. This is from Milkweed Editions. The cover is gorgeous, the innards are gorgeous, and as Bill McKibben says, you will reread it. It's that good. And it's basically this is reminiscent of Gretel Ehrlich's Solace of Open Spaces, and it's just this gorgeous, deeply lyrical account of a shepherding life in rural Vermont. The author lives on a 200 acre sheep ranch. And but that's the setting for this, but she also talks about um like watching her daughter grow up. Her daughter Ren also did the cover art and as well as the wood blocks that are inside. I mean, this is just such a pretty book. Um and then also reckoning with her mother's death. So um it's a multi-generational reflection on life on the sheep ranch. And I just listen, I know you're probably like, do I care about life on a sheep ranch? But this is really a human story
Mhm.
set in rural Vermont that will change your ideas and make you want to go and seek out this sheep ranch to like just to seek out the magic and the beauty there. And wow, just this is a stunner. This was a huge favorite at Winter Institute. Everybody was clamoring for the early advance copies. So and that always tells you that it has a shot out in the world when booksellers of all ilks from all over the world, I mean all over the country, are interested in it. So
Yep.
yeah,
I read it. It is everything you absolutely said. And it's one of those that it's like, yeah, you think it's like, oh, do I really read? But, and also her story of how they acquired the sheep farm is just fascinating. So it's really it's a great read. It's a great read.
yeah, it's a book that I think people are going to once they read it, they're going to buy it for gifts
Hmm.
for the women, especially in their life. I think
Yep.
so.
I agree. Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Okay. Julia, wrap us
All
up.
right. Okay. My last one, this is for funsies. It's coming out next week, but I thought I probably wouldn't be able to feature it next week because I've got some big ones. So I'll feature it
Yum.
now. This is Galette, exclamation point. And this book, I gotta tell you, I have loved cooking from this. This is like I love to cook. I hate making pastry more than basically anything in this world. I truly hate it. The recipe for the pastry dough in this is very easy. It
Okay.
like made me hate it less, to be quite honest. But what's so cool is that what this book does is it takes like, any kind of fruit, vegetable, whatever in your fridge, and you can make a galette out of it. And it shows you how. It's these beautiful, like, dishes, but they're really simple to make. I go to the farmer's market every week, and sometimes I have like random vegetables in my refrigerator that need to get used. And so I'll just look at here and be like, okay, what can I throw together? And this cookbook just like it's a nice dish. It gives you vegetables. It gives you a great sort of way to serve it. It is just a delight. And so this is Galette, sweet and savory recipes as easy as pie. And it truly is as easy as pie. It's very good.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree with you 1000%. Making pie or any kind of pastry dough is like,
It makes me want to die.
I am very excited about this because I am not a sweets person. If somebody like hands me like a cup of ice cream, yes, I'm going to eat it, but I do not seek it out. And so it's nice that there's savory elements here. And also, this is great if you're going to a dinner party or a potluck, right? It's like stuff like if you have flour and
And
stuff in
some
your
butter.
fridge, yep, you're good.
yeah. No, I make a fig um and honey and walnut and blue cheese, like these little square that you have to have a puff pastry for. And so it's like I'm buying the puff pastry all the time. It's like, but this
You can
sounds like a
also you can also buy the pastry, but this does have a nice easy pastry recipe that like didn't make me want to die.
right.
And but you can buy it too and just
Yeah.
put it together.
I just put all the stuff together. But
That's
yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. You're always ending us with like it's dinner time and we need like some good stuff. Okay, we have A couple of good virtual events this week. So we have Eliza Knight will be in conversation with Rachel McMillan, and they're going to be talking about Eliza's book, Confessions of a Grammar Queen, which I love the title of that. So that's Wednesday, 4 p.m., the same time here. So if you're not doing anything, pop in, see a great conversation. And then Bianca Moraes is going to be talking about A Most Puzzling Murder on Thursday, same time, 4 o'clock here. So if you're interested, pop on over to our website. Oh, right there. Well, Amanda put them right in there for you guys to make it easy to register for those. So got a couple of good. And speaking of virtual, we just are announcing, or will be announcing, that Rachel Joyce, Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, author, and I can't remember the music book one. I can't remember the name of that book. But anyways, she's got a new book, and we're going to be hosting her virtually in July. So I still love doing my virtual stuff. It's very fun. It keeps us all connected. So I still love doing it. So everybody have a there's lots of these books. There's so many great books out right now. Get off of social media. Get off of for your mental health. Just stay off of social media. Read a book. I've been much happier this week. Trust me.
Go for a walk. Get out in nature.
Yep. Go out for a walk and then read a good book. So
people, go to a dinner party with your galette.
Galette, exactly. Andrea, Julia, thank you for coming in. Always appreciate you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, everybody. See you next week. Bye.